And when you feel that, boom, bring it right back to your chin. Your foot placements needs to be in the right place, so I can't stress it enough. Step, punch, right? All about consistency. If you're just standing here in a good stance and you turn your hip like that, right, without punching, pretty sure you can do that. Muscle coordination and the alignment and the kinetic chain, right, which is the flow and the rhythm and the energy and the harnessing the energy through your body. All right, good morning everyone. I hope you're doing well today. Thank you very much for tuning in, really appreciate it. Shout out to all the subscribers, gratitude to anybody new, welcome along. This video we're going to be talking about the cross. Right hand, give it a bit more thud, a bit more meat, you know. Turn your hips more. Right, that is the punch that goes across your body. It's your backhand, it's called a number 2. If you are a southpaw, don't worry, your left hand is going to be the one for you. Same thing, it's going to be the exact same teachings, exact same mechanics, just reverse it. So in this video, you, the beginner, is going to have, by the end of it, hopefully a firm understanding of what a cross is, exactly how to throw it from a beginner's perspective, what mistakes you're looking for, and also I'm going to show you how to practice it. I'm going to bring in clients of mine that I've just shot yesterday in the gym. Right hand. Don't show it to me before, yeah? Any movement is going to let me know you're about to throw it. Better. From your chin to your chin, without any tails. All right, good. Relax your shoulders a little bit. Tuck that elbow. I'm going to bring some footage of myself as well, just to show you exactly what's happening. Do my best to articulate the video from here. We've got the place to ourselves. Let's go.
Boxing.
Okay, so the cross, right, for me, orthodox, most fighters are orthodox. If you're right-handed, it's going to be your right hand, okay? First things first, you need to get in a good stance. I'm going to go through that in a minute in a different camera angle, but a good stance is imperative. When you throw a right hand, get a good stance, right? Bring that right foot over a little bit so you've got a bit more balance, a bit more base. Don't be too square on. Right hand on your chin, all right? And then just twist your whole body. Absolutely imperative. You need the right balance. You need, the right posture. You need to be relaxed. You need to have your elbows on a rib cage, your hands on your cheekbone or your chin right here, and your chin tucked. I've made a video on the stance. Go and check that out. But that is so important for you to get good technique, for you to be, a good boxer. Really, you need balance for footwork. You need it for punching, blocking, everything. But specifically for punching as well, because that's how you generate the power, the technique, the rhythm, all of it. So get a very good stance. Once you have a good stance, right, we're going to keep this simple, okay? And having a good stance is an extremely important part of it, because if you don't have a good stance to start off with, you're going to do yourself, no favors really, because you're going to be in the wrong position. It's going to create issues for your technique. Your foot placements needs to be in the right place. So I can't stress it enough. Get a very good stance. Once you do have one, all right, we're gonna do this. Hands on your chin, right? And the idea is to get the punch from here. If you look where my shoulder is, right? It's not here. This is too square on, it's back here, and this is gonna help with the technique, I'll show you. But from here, right, we're gonna turn and push the punch forward. We're gonna turn and push the punch forward. And we're gonna end up like that, right? I'm gonna talk about the mistakes in a minute, but if you do it without punching, this is a good way to break it down simply. And I've tried to simplify things for the beginners and actually let you know that actually there's some things you can do right now to be able to get a pretty good punch right now. For example, like if you're just standing here in a good stance and you turn your hip like that, right, without punching, pretty sure you can do that, right? I've coached, hundreds and hundreds of beginners over the years. My name's Henry, by the way. Welcome to the channel. I'll do a bit more introduction at the end of the video, but every time I'm like, there's no one that hasn't been able to do that, right? Okay, so that's half the battle. Well, maybe a third of the battle. You're turning like this, right? Then I'm gonna put my hand through it, my arm, excuse me, but this has to stay on the rib cage right here. If it's out here, you're gonna mess with the trajectory. If you're a professional, you've worked on technique, that's fine. They know how to do that. They can punch from out here, not a big deal. It's still gonna be a little bit off, but when you practice it enough and you get the right technique with that, you can do it. But for now, you should feel it on your rib cage, right? And then I'm just gonna shoot it straight. This is very important, right? Across your body. So the shoulder's gonna come from here to here. You're gonna turn the punch a little bit, and that is basically it. There's a few more details than that, but essentially, if you go slowly, I'm pretty sure right now you could do this, right? And then you just have to bring it back right to your chin, from your chin to your chin. Without any tails. In a straight fashion too. Now, one of the biggest, probably the more complicated, hardest, quote unquote, things to do is getting the impact right? So the impact is this little snap at the end, okay? And it's a little pop, a little pop of the shoulder, right? You don't want to leave it out like this. You definitely don't want to do this, right? This is an arm punch. You can see there's no body motion whatsoever. And if I do that, it's way different to that. And the power, the technique, the rhythm, everything is completely different. Sometimes the mic drops out when I make big movements like that. So I'm trying to get the audio perfect for you guys so you can coherently understand what I'm talking about. Let me zoom in for a minute to really draw home what I'm talking about with the impact, right? So again, you don't want to do this, right? This is a common mistake for beginners. That's an arm punch. You want to snap it, right? There's a little shoulder pop, pop, and when you feel that, boom, bring it right back to your chin. That's a little too short. Even if you do that, right, that's a little too short. You got to get a bit of meat on the punch, you know? You want to hurt people sometimes. I know it's boxing, it's the reality of the sport. You're looking to hurt people. Not all the time, but with a big right cross, bang, you want it to really be impactful. So you want it to be the best technique you possibly can get. And part of that is the impact, right? And obviously if you have a good stance and a good base and you've got your balance under you and you have a good impact, you're 80% of the way there, maybe more. But the turn of the punch, turning the punch over, right? That's important. I'll show you right now. You don't have to go nuts with it like that, but that's part of the talk, right? This is where energy comes from. And I'm going to get a little scientific and a little bit advanced, but don't worry. It's like, you don't have to necessarily know it. I just want you to understand sometimes where, the little things that you can do, like turning your punch over. I've made a video about that. Putting your shoulders through the punch, right? That is a massive one. And that's something you can do. That's something you can do right now. I promise you. You're telling me you can't do that? You can do that. Boom, you put your shoulder through it. The impact is something you're going to have to focus on. Don't lean in, right? I like to get different camera angles on this channel. It's a big part of it, a little bit of photography and videography I'm trying to bring in, and a bit of art and science later on. But for now, don't lean in, right? I've made a video about that. Everything I'm talking about, I'll leave the links in the description because it's really important that you understand. Leaning in is basically, and look, you're gonna feel like you're gonna want to lean in, right? Because it's natural, it's gravity. You're pushing your whole weight forward, right? You don't want this. You don't want your chin to be past your front knee. You don't want your back leg drifting up like that, right? I wanna be right here, boom, right here, bam, right? Snap it, turn it, push it back, boom, right? That's a good cross. You don't have to go that fast. You don't have to do it that powerfully. In fact, I'd suggest don't do it that powerfully or don't do it that fast. I'm just trying to explain and give an example of, good technique basically. Try to just get a good rhythm, and this is where the practicing comes in, right? Make sure you're relaxed, make sure you have a good stance, make sure your elbows on the rib cage, all right? And then make sure your shoulder turns, right? Your shoulder rotation. Look at the rotation here, yeah? Rotation, turn the punch over a little bit, but that snap at the end, that's something you're gonna have to work on quite a bit. That's something that I've certainly seen, and I understand that is the most difficult part, probably, of throwing most punches, especially that right hand. It's getting that that little turn, snap, right? Not easy, but practice, you can do it, but practice at the right level, right? Don't go crazy and like I said, do it too powerful because you're gonna affect the technique. And if you're not relaxed, you're really going to affect the technique. If you're hunched up like this, and I'll talk about muscle coordination right now. This is where the science comes in. Muscle coordination and you know, the alignment and the kinetic chain, right, which is the flow and the rhythm and the energy and the harnessing the energy through your body, which is essentially power, right, or force. But muscle coordination is having your muscles nice and relaxed so they all flow in harmony together, right? We don't need to know that much about that. Just understand that you need to relax. That will help you get there. Just take your time, do hundreds of this, boom, right? Boom. We'll get into practicing now, actually. What I would do if I were you, and this depends on what level you're at, if you're just starting out, or maybe you know how to throw a right hand, you want to tweak it a little bit and get it a little bit better, I'm going to include you in this as well. But I would stay still, right, for right now. You're going to have to move eventually, but I think it's a good idea to stay still and just work on this, right? Work on this. You need to throw hundreds and hundreds and hundreds every day. Every day. Sorry, it is what it is. If you don't have time for that, I understand. Do the best you can. But boom, get that work, that snap, turn that. If you look at this all comes together literally almost at the same time, and the punch comes just very slightly, like a fraction after. Boom. Turn that back foot, turn the rhythm of it, boom. This right hand comes a little bit, tiny little bit after, boom. So you turn your hips like that, and then it comes out, boom. Just very slightly after. Snap it, put it right back. Right there, there's the snap, right? Boom. I'm not leaning over like this. My shoulders aren't back here like this. I'm not like, I'm relaxed. Knees bent, boom, right? Elbows are on the rib cage, bam. Chin down, not chin in the air like that. Not so far down like this either. Boom, right? Now, if you want to start adding some footwork, this is what I'd recommend, right? I made a video on footwork. I'd highly recommend you check that out. It's going to give you a good understanding of how to move, because that's really important. But for now, you could just step in any direction, right? Take a step left, make sure your feet are set, punch. Step forward, feet are set, punch. Good. Step back. Step back. Step, a little step like that. Boom. Little step. Step forward. When you step forward, start with your front first. Just start with your front. When you go back, start with the back. Yeah, but you're too wide with it though. Doing this, right? Just a little step like that, a little step like that. And again, good, step back, turn it, forward. Make sure you do those things, and each thing is in order, meaning make sure your feet are set. Don't try and punch before, excuse me, I nearly fell over. Don't try and punch before you're moving, right? Make sure the timing, it's all about timing. When you're throwing a punch, you're connecting your feet with your hands. That's to do with timing, right? If you get the timing wrong, your feet aren't going to connect with the ground, which is your best friend in a punching situation, right? The ground is your best friend, right? So I'm stepping here, I'll do it really slowly. Step, step, now my feet are connected, punch, right? Step, punch, step, punch. And I want to be in the same place. I'm not going to cover footwork too much, but I don't want to step like that too wide, you know. I'm here like this, and I'm the same here like this, same here like that, pivot, punch, step, punch, step, punch, right? All about consistency, staying relaxed, staying balanced, and getting the best technique you possibly can. All right, guys, that's it for today. Hopefully that made sense. Hopefully I covered all the bases. If I did forget something, I will leave it in the description box, because sometimes I like to be detailed, but you know, throwing so much at beginners can be a lot too. But if there's something really important, I'll put it on the screen and then go and check out the description so I can add a few more details. But hopefully I'll get this video out today. It's early in the morning. Well, it's not too early. It's about 8 in the morning, but it's Friday. I hope you have a beautiful weekend. My name is Henry. I have been teaching beginners for 13 years, something like that, 12, 13 years. I boxed quite a bit myself, just in the amateurs as a novice, but I've always trained and always learned and tried to keep myself in shape. And I love punching. I love talking about punching. That's definitely my specialty. You know, I love teaching beginners, and I've as I said, I've taught beginners on the pads. You know, I've had a couple of guys fight back in the day, but really and truly, I just try to get people the best out of themselves, you know. And in fact, the 2 clients that I have, shout out to Russell. 1, 2, step forward. 1, 2. Just keep the footwork a little tighter. That's it. Just that.
Not so
that. That's it. Yeah. Step to the right. Right hand, left hook. And Jeff. Russ is actually the guy that got me into training in the first place. So massive salute to him. Thank you so much, brother. And then Jeff, don't show it to me before, yeah? Any movement is gonna let me know you're about to throw it. Better. And again. Good. Right hand. Excellent. Beautiful, bro. Beautiful. That's it. Nice and relaxed. Beautiful. Dang it. Don't lean in. You know you're showing it a little bit, right? He's actually somebody who turned his life around with boxing, and he was, you know, drinking a lot of alcohol, smoking, a little bit overweight, and he came to me and he said, "Can you teach me how to box?" And it changed his life. Pitch up, 2, 1, done. Good. And again. Good. And make no mistake, that comes from him. You know, if you bring your best energy to me, I will definitely do my best to transform you. And I can do that, and I've done that. And with Jeff, I'll show you some pictures of before and after, because he's the one that did it, right? That's what I'm trying to say. When you put the right energy forward and you want to change something, and that's what this channel's about, motivation, discipline, being the best version you can possibly be. Getting the best out of yourself, all right? That is what I'm about. So if you are new and you like this channel, smash the like button. It's got to come from the center of the chest. And you know, if you really enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel. That's it from me. I'm gonna go home and edit this. Hopefully I'll get it out today. But I'm gonna have a little workout as well. Maybe put a couple of shorts up as well. And there's a dog coming into the park now, so I guess I'm not alone anymore. All right, I'm out. Bye. Pitch up, 2, 1, done. Good. And again. Good. Flip here. Ba, ba. 2 shots. Excellent. Underneath and sure uppercut. Good. And the other side.
Boxing.